Okay, so a great question is how do you configure the enrollment or an enrollment key for your course? So I'm going to go ahead and log into Moodle. And once I've logged in, I'm going to pick a random course. I'll go to Christian Ed, Ms. Chula. And if we click over in the Settings tab on Users, we've got a few choices, and what we want is Enrollment Methods. When we click that, we're going to get a little window that pops up like this, and this is the defaults. Manual enrollments is enabled. You can see the little I is enabled. Self-enrollment students is not, and guest access is not permitted either. If you want guest access, in other words, if you want your kids to be able to access your course materials without having to log in, all you do is click on that. A little I appears, and anyone in the world can go into your course and see your course materials. If you want your kids to enroll, and a good reason for that is they might want to, or you might want them to contribute assignments, which you would mark and give the marks back. Well, in that case, you want them to enroll. I'd get rid of manual enrollments and go to self-enrollment. And I think what I'll do is move that one up to the top. Now let's just have a look at the configuration. The default configuration for this course now is no enrollment key. So I'll save the changes. And you can see that all three versions are enabled now. So guests can get into the course, but let's go back to courses. Or I guess I can click up here. And now we can see that we've got that little door that comes right before the listing for Ms. Chula's Christian Ed 8 course. And what that means is that enrollment is enabled, self-enrollment is enabled. So if we click on that link, what the students would get is a little button that would say Enroll Me. And all they'd have to do is click on it and they're in your course. For courses where you've configured an enrollment key, once they click on Enroll Me, they'll have to actually enter a valid enrollment key, and that'll let them in. So three possible ways to access course information. The first is if you allow guest access. Let's have a look at that one more time. Enrollment methods. By enabling guest access, anyone can see your course. If you want to interact with students, enable self-enrollment. You can set up an enrollment key if you like. If you don't have an enrollment key, let's just see what that looks like. I'll click on the settings for self-enrollment. And right now there is no enrollment key. But if we set one up, I'll just type test. We'll just make sure we've got test type there. And that means that a student must now type test as an enrollment key before they're allowed into your course. If you don't have an enrollment key, anyone in the school, because all students have accounts, could sign up and enroll in your course. You might not care if it doesn't make any difference to you. You don't need to put an enrollment key. If you want to limit it to certain students, then certainly set an enrollment key, and away we go.